Now Tavin's at the burger shed, he ordered a number 3. Bacon double cheeseburger, curly fries you'll see. Tavin ramping up the holler, Tavin trying to make a dollar. Tavin, give him a holler, he'll mow your grass today.
Welcome to the Tavin Dillard Podcast, y'all guys. Season 15's episode 5. I got Tavin's Lawn Care Services. I'm a mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. Welcome in, y'all guys. How in the world are you? Hey, I just want to tell you right off the bat, we got a different episode today. I can't be here long. Today, y'all guys, so I got to go. I'll just tell you the short version, and then I'll have to fill you in on the rest next week. But Meemaw has a Christmas trip planned, and I am a big part of helping make that thing happen. So I'm going to have to scoot in a little bit. I'll tell you more about the episode ahead that you're about to get into in just a minute. But first, I just want to tell you, check them show notes today. There's a code there for 25% off my merch or my personal greetings if you need to finish up some Christmas shopping. Get after it. I mean, we got a little bit of time left, but anyhow, you can check that out. But also, this episode is brought to you by Century 21 MVP, Vanessa Spurgeon. She's a realtor there, and she's my pal, and she will help you out. Did you know the Smokies, the Smoky Mountains, they welcome more visitors each year than the Eiffel Tower and the Roman Colosseum? That's combined, creating a consistent demand for short-term rentals. And Vanessa will help you out if you're looking at doing some investing year, because year after year, them property values, they go up in the Smokies. And she's watched these families in that area turn second homes into long-term wealth while enjoying the mountains they love. This time of year, I mean, bring a sweater, but it's a beautiful thing. So check it out, because the Smoky Mountains, they ain't just beautiful, they smart. There's some investing to be done there, and Vanessa will help you out. So check them show notes today for how to get in touch with her, because she want to talk to you. About this episode today, y'all guys, I'm about to scoot. So let me just tell you what's happening. Joel Berry, he produces a lot of the stuff I do, I just mow lawns and talk. But Joel Berry helps. So he's going to be on the show today, and he's talking with his buddy John Delony. Now, you might know John, you might not know John, but he's got a podcast himself called Dr. John Delony Show. I think that's what they call it. Anyhow, Joel and John are going to catch up today, and I think basically, around Christmas times, it's good to slow down and catch up. And so, join us, will you, while Joel and John catch up and talk about the season. I got to go get ready for this trip for Meemaw, and I'll tell y'all all about it in 1 week. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you later. Hey everybody, Merry Christmas to you. Joel Berry here. I just wanted to let you know that I thought about editing some of this podcast episode today, because it was recorded in advance. John and I, Delony and I, talk for a little while, and we're talking about the Tavin tour, which, as you know, has since been canceled. But I thought, you know what, let's just let it play. I want you guys to hear this, doing something a little bit different this Christmas season with this episode. I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to shoot me a comment back, or, you can email Tavin or text him. He'll pass along the info to me as well. One other note about this recording for this podcast episode, I recorded it on my phone. And when you record something on your phone, every now and then you'll hear this little ding, 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 ding. So just a heads up, when you hear that, everything's okay. But anyhow, Merry Christmas and enjoy today's podcast episode. Dr. John Delony, how are you?
I'm good, homie. What are you up to?
Not much, man. I'm teaching 6 classes this semester, so I've got college and, other things in between here and there.
Dude, you are burning it, man. And This is the time of year for you professors, man. You got lots of papers to grade, and students who realized, I didn't go to class all semester. That's the good times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've been there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Hey, you've been doing. First of all, this is Dr. John Delony, everybody that you may not know, but I think you've probably heard of him. You got your own podcast, but you're part of the Ramsey Family Network.
That's right.
How long have you been with them?
I started the last day of January 2020. So I waltzed in here, and then the world fell apart.
Man.
So it's been about 5 years, 5.5 years.
Man, that's great. What timing.
Yeah, right.
So you've been doing that, and you're helping a lot of people on the radio, I know, and then you've been doing some stand-up lately.
Yeah, so I had a weird introduction to that. So one of my co-hosts on the radio show, George Camel, his long life dream is to have a stand-up special, and so he was always just asking, like, when are we gonna do it? When are we gonna do it? And I have a weird personal connection. My dad was a Texas cop, and you're not the most warm and fuzzy type, right? But growing up, he would always talk about these guys named Robin Williams and Richard Pryor and like O.G. Cosby and Steve Martin. And so I just grew up like knowing stand-up comics are like actually the real geniuses. And so I've always had a obsession with them. Well, then we decided we were going to co-host a comedy night, which, you know, you've done that. It's terrifying. And the show sold out, and they added a second show, and it sold out, and suddenly it was like, oh, this is real.
Oh my goodness.
And then while I was there, I've just found an obsession with the craft of speaking and the craft of making jokes. And of course, I just happened to walk down the street. I live right by the club here in Nashville. And of course, it's the one that Nate Bargatze and Dusty Slay and Theo Vaughn and all those guys, that's their home base, right? And so I've got to have some of the best mentors and coaches in the world. And so, but yeah, dude, now I love it. And I'm starting to do it more and more across the country. I know I do a lot of mental health stuff and all that, but man, if I'm honest, what the world needs right now more than anything is a room of strangers where they make you put your phone away and you'll just have shared human experiences. And it's been magic in that regard.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Even whether it's comedy or live shows, just people being in person live. I don't think that's going away, and I think it's probably, like you said, needed more than ever these days. Anyway,
I think it's going to increase. It's going to, But and also, can I say this? Like, there's a weird thing to say. I don't know how to say this without sounding like a jerk, but like, I made it, right? Like, I have a podcast that's doing well. I've had some books that do well, and there's something about being in my mid to late 40s here. Like, I just saw a path where I can coast on this, and I'm going to become a guy that I don't like. And so, like, what's the next scary, terrifying, hard thing to go do? Like, oh, go stand in a dark room and full of strangers who are like paid money they probably don't have for a little escape, and like make me laugh. Like, so it's finding a scary, terrifying thing that you almost have to go back to being a complete rookie at and figure out a way to do it. And it's been awesome. It's been good.
That's great. Yeah, when I first did stand up years ago in Los Angeles, it was kind of a one time, in a way, like, oh, this is a bucket list thing. I'll go do it once, and then I did think at some point, oh, I can just. And maybe I'll put a few videos on YouTube of me doing stand-up, and then I'll just get booked all around the world, or I don't know what I thought. But then over time, I just stole my best jokes and gave them to Tavin, and then started doing stand-up as Tavin. So,
well, it's a cultural thing, right? That's just what he does. He steals. It's cool.
He loves to talk. So just give him the words. Give him the words. But it is. The people that are really good at stand up and anything, they make it look so easy. That's why people are like, I could do that. And then you get up there and you're like, oh, this is a craft. This is a legitimate. Very challenging kind of.
So can I tell you this? I had this experience. This is about a month ago now.
Yeah.
There was a lineup. So you like, for people who don't know, like, it doesn't matter how famous you are or whatever, you show up and on a showcase night, and you might get 8 minutes, you might get 20, you might get 6. And it's cool because you don't really know, and you got to figure it out. And there's kind of some rules behind the scenes, right? Like, you can't finish early, but you can't go over. And so, well, I was there, and it just so happened that Nate Bargatze was on the list, right? And he comes off stage. He's just sold out Madison Square Garden 3 nights. Yeah. Right? Like the dream. Yeah. It's not even a dream. It's like a fantasy, right?
Right.
And he comes off stage. The audience, there's 100 people. That's all there is in this one little area. There's 2 clubs back to back, and this is a small club.
Yeah.
He comes off, and I'm just grabbing a Diet Coke out of the fridge, and he looks at me and says, "That ending doesn't work, does it?" And I was like, "Are you talking to me? Like, I'm like, what are you talking about?" But it was like, oh, you can't ever get there, right? Like it's these guys are craftsmen who are like, I need this to be a little pacing to be better, the joke to be a little funnier. And I remember seeing that being like, oh, there is no made it. The making it is you get to be a part of this adventure, right? You get to be a craftsman, you get to write new jokes, you get to experience the highs and the lows. It's not the ticket sales because those are going to come and those are going to go, but it's like, do you love being a part of this craft? And man, that's for plumbers, that's for teachers, nurses, anything. Can you enjoy that? Can you find like passion in the traveling, not just the where you think the destination is?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the people that are really, really good at anything are the ones that are asking those questions after something. Like I get the sense that Dave's like that too. Dave Ramsey, like he's always thinking of how to make something different instead of being like, you look at so many people like, well, they're probably good. They probably could just coast or just phone it in, but not the people that are really excellent, I don't think.
I'll tell you this, probably April, right? So I joined Ramsey basically February 1 of 2020. In April, the world is shut down, but here in Tennessee, it was like only a little bit shut down.
Yeah.
And there was a education event that they were shooting, and the guy on our team that was supposed to be doing the video is like 300 high school kids. He got really sick, and so Dave said, I'll jump in and do it. That afternoon, I was leaving the building. I'm new to this job. I've worked in education my whole career, so I don't know anything about media. And then Dave is on stage by himself with some notes. And I was like, what is that guy doing? And they're like, oh, he's rehearsing for tomorrow. And I was like, he's sold out stadiums. So what is he rehearsing? And then it hit me, oh, this is what a professional craftsman does. And it was like, and you will never see that guy. Right. It's behind the scenes. It's 4:00 in the afternoon, like on a Wednesday or whatever. And he's up there running the scene, running the lines. And I was like, oh, these guys are pros at this. And it was awesome. It was cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a level up, right? It's cool.
Yeah. And you think about anybody that's going to be really good at something, you never ever phone it in. And it's like you said, plumbers, doesn't matter what the craft is. You got to be.
Oh, I know of a surgeon that still practices, like you don't think about this, but like when they're doing a heart surgery, they have to tie a knot, right, of one blood vessel to the other, and those guys will just be hanging out on the weekends, like watching the fights, but they'll just be running knots, and it's like, oh man, they're like trying to get better at their thing, and that has become an obsession of mine. I wish I had this mind back when I was 20, right? I just wanted. The goal for me was, could I make an audience laugh, or could I make this instead of, can I get really good at this thing and enjoy the process of getting good?
Yeah, that's been it for me too. It's like, I mean, everyone has to dial down, and I know you talk to people all the time where it's like, what is the purpose, here, or like, what is my goal? And some people it's just to make money. It's like, I can start something, I can sell it off, and I can go to the next thing. But it's like, what are you doing? And I had to do that with, the craft and what's my mission statement? I really want to refresh people. I really want to do things that honor God. Like I want to work like I'm working for Him. That way, I think with that mindset, you do never arrive, because it's like, well, I don't just phone it in ever.
Well, Dave gave me a line, because we do, like, one of Dave's main things he does besides his radio show and help people get out of debt is one of the only guys in the country that specifically focuses on helping small to medium-sized business owners. Like a plumber in Nebraska who's really amazing, and suddenly that plumber wakes up one day and he's got 12 other plumbers working for him. Well, he's not a plumber anymore. Now he's a small business owner. And how do you be a leader, and how do you be married and all that? Yeah. And so Dave has always reminded me, when you're doing any kind of business work, the first question you ask is, who am I going to help? Who am I here to help? And that, it's the old Zig Ziglar quote, if you help enough people, you don't ever have to worry about money. That will take care of itself. But instead of, how do I make the most money? How do I get the most sales? Like, who am I trying to help? Over time, when you help folks, that other part of it resurfaces, right?
Yeah. I was thinking about, you're talking about the helping other people, the serving other people. I don't know if I see this in the arts, maybe you see it in other places too, where people that are really good, they decide at some point that they deserve more, so they and they're like, I'm actually good at this, and I'm not getting what I deserve, so they kind of take their ball and go home, or they become cynical. And that I feel like I was telling a class yesterday that I was like, there's no science on this, but in my experience, it's 50-50. You're 50% talented and 50% you got to know how to market and show up, and kind of like present yourself. And I don't know if that's exactly accurate, but there's something to like, it's not just raw talent, right? These people that keep showing up.
Oh gosh, dude, here's the truth that I know, and this is why I smile a lot at my job. If I went away tomorrow, if I just called in and said, I'm not coming, I cancel my show, I'm out.
Yeah.
There would be people who were like, where'd that guy go? And within 1 to 2 weeks, they would have moved on to the next person.
Yeah.
And so it's holding it so loosely, and that weirdly allows you to do much, much, much better work. But yeah, like I remember back when I was 20 and I wanted to be an actor, and I was taking a meeting in Los Angeles from Texas. I'd flown out, and I remember somebody told me this. They said, there's about 8 people in Hollywood that can get away with not being a good person. The rest of the people, and of course there's more than 8, but that was just like the number they threw out there. Yeah. They said at the end of the day, when there's so many attractive people, so many talented people, so many great people, the question that most of us act when we're casting a film is, do I want to spend the next 3 months with that person? And so the real magic is, are you a person of integrity? Are you a person of kindness? Do you say thank you? Do you, like when you're on set at a film shoot, do you say thank you to the grips and to, like, are you a good human, right?
Yeah.
And part, like for me, like I'm a Christian guy too. If part of my life is I want people to not to be lecture about my faith, but I want people to experience a piece that I have that maybe they don't. That comes through gratitude and kindness, and there's just no place for ego, right? There's no place. And yes, you have to be good. Yes, you have to work on your craft. Yes, like I spend days thinking of jokes or whatever. Like that's part of it, but who are you when you show up there, man? Are you kind? Are you like, and those things cost no money, and they're all choices, right? And I've gotten to meet some of the most insanely famous people within the last 5 years, and the vast majority of them are just wonderful, great men and women behind closed doors. They're just awesome. Yeah. And the jerks, just people don't want them around,
Yeah, and that goes back to kind of what you're saying. It's about the journey, not the end goal. Because people that arrive, but they're jerks all the way through it, that's a hard way to live. And I mean,
it's an exhausting way to live. Yeah.
And you leave kind of a wake behind you.
Do you know the comic Dusty Slay?
Yeah, I actually know Dusty. He left me a ticket to a show in San Diego about a year and a half ago, and so
that's awesome.
We hung out afterwards. We met through Instagram, same way you and I met.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, well, Dusty's a buddy here. He's here in Nashville, and we were talking just the other night in the green room at the comedy club. Like, dude, we're at work. Like, we get to just hang out, tell funny jokes that are like, we get to be silly. We get to talk about each other's kids, but I have one of my closest buddies who works in HVAC. You know what I mean? Yeah. And one of my other buddies works in a bank, and all day he's stressed. Like, if I can just exhale and be like, dude, I'm kind of in a little glitch in the matrix. I get to go up and tell jokes. Yeah. I get to have a podcast for a living. Like, man, it should make you more humble and kind, not the other way around, right?
Yeah. But that's a hard thing though, to sometimes, the ego can take over, or just the opportunities. You get so caught up in the grind, because we're all kind of wired to work and work hard. And I think I've heard you talk about that before, where, we can really wrap our identity around career too, especially as guys. It's like,
I've been awful about that in the past. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So that's part of it too. And then, so let's, there's 2 things I want to get to now. One, we're going to eventually talk about Christmas, but family. And work's a big deal, but how is family for you? Marriage and raising kids, and they're hitting new seasons of life and all of that.
Yeah, marriage. I'm actually in a green room right now, about to do a weekend marriage conference here. So marriage has become something. Just the science of it. Is it still worth it anymore? And if it is, how do you do that in this crazy world? Like, so that's become an obsession of mine. But it stems back to a little less than a decade ago, my wife sitting across the table from each other being like, all right, the marriage we had is over. It's done. Do we want to do another one? Because that one's over, right? And thank God she said, I'm in if you're in. And I said, I'm in if you're in. And so and I would say right now, I don't know anybody on the planet that has a better marriage than me. And last night I got so frustrated. Right? Like she was leaving town this morning, and I called her while she was driving out of town, and I was driving up here to the conference center. I was like, hey, I need you to say out loud that you like me still. Right. And so we've been married 23 years. And so I think marriage is awesome, and it's rooted, and it's amazing. And sometimes it rains outside. Right.
Yeah.
But man, that's awesome. But it's my number one priority in my life besides my faith is how can I be a good husband and really love this other person? And then, dude, being a dad is the funnest, awesomest, boringest, annoying, greatest thing I've ever been a part of in my life ever. So I love that.
I've had to tell myself out loud lately, like this is all worth it. This is the fight I want to be in. Cause my daughter's 19, Olivia, you've met her. And then, I've got Mason and Dylan. So they're teenagers, they're younger. And, there's just seasons. You got a teenage boy where you're just like, okay, I was there once, but I'm not there now. So I'm trying to like navigate it. And I realize, you know what? I've got to stay in this though. I've got to be engaged. That's what dads do. And then, there is another side to this. We will be on the other side of this season. And if I can be faithful in the middle of it, there's going to be some good fruit on the other side. And it's such a walk of faith of I'm going to try to invest the best I can. But
the things that have saved me that have been huge. And again, I've got a blessing that like some of my closest friends are some of the best child psychologists on the planet, right? They're awesome. But like the bigger ones are not expecting a 15-year-old to not be 15.
Yeah.
And not expecting, I have a 9-year-old too, not expecting her to not be 9. Right. And I think a lot of adults, I have a tendency to want a 15-year-old to act like a 40-year-old, and he's not. He's 15. He thinks things are funny that I don't think are funny, and he has ideas about the world that are just literally nonsense. But he's 15, right? So it's letting it, and then unhooking my identity from his performance or my daughter's performance. Yeah, I'm not a bad dad if my kid's not an all-star, and I'm not a bad dad if my daughter mouths off, right? And then the third hardest one, I think, for all parents is simply put, no bones about it. Kids rarely listen to you. They watch you. And so if you want your kids to be respectful and kind, you better model that. And if you want them to treat people with dignity, you better treat their mom right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they will follow that. And they'll also act like they're 9 at the time too, right? So it's both and.
That whole thing, values are caught, not taught. Like you hang out with them long enough. That's you posted something on Instagram not too long ago about just a text exchange with your son where you say all these loving, kind things, and he says, he says, okay. I'm like, dude, that's cool. That's 100%. And part of it is I've had more than one. I've heard it more than once. Like a mentor will say when I'm talking to them about parenting, they'll say, yeah, that's normal. And there is some relief to that. Like, okay, I've got, that's what that age and stage is like. But this also, it doesn't give me a license to let go of my responsibility and not love the kid through it, because sometimes you just want to check out and be like, hope you figure it out, buddy. But you.
And you gotta go back. And also after that text exchange, I actually talked to him that night and I said, hey, my dad loved me. He's an old policeman. And then he became a minister. Mm-hmm. He didn't send me things like this. I never knew how he felt about me. Yeah. And if I ask him, he's like, dude, your oil was changed. I made sure your brakes worked. Like, so he opened his toolkit to show me how he loved me. And those were the tools he had. Yep. And so I told my son, I said, hey, if somebody ever has the courage to tell you that you mean something to them, say thank you. Yep. Right. And so part of that is me teaching him like, okay, this is actually hilarious. He just wrote, okay. But also, hey, here's how you do this the next right way. And he's like, okay, all right. And so it's all of it, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's all part of it. Yeah. My dad's a retired pastor as well. Yeah. Out there in the South. And they all do it differently. But they got to know they're loved and they're safe. I think that's part of it. As you see kids that just start exploring, you're like, we don't do that, but they felt safe enough to do that because they were in an environment where they know they're loved, and so kind of working through it. So, well, can you remember one of your first favorite Christmas memories? I don't know. Was it a big deal in your house growing up or? Yeah. I mean, we didn't have a lot growing up. And so Christmas was always, it was a big deal. I know my parents really stretched far and wide to put as many presents as they could under the tree. And I didn't understand that. But also it was a time like we had people break into our house when I was a kid and put presents under our tree because I knew we were struggling financially. And I remember being like, oh, this is awesome. And also this is super embarrassing. Right. So it was like, it was just all of it. But one of my favorite memories, every Christmas Eve, my whole extended family got together at my grandparents' house, and those are just like dear, precious memories to me. Just
Is that
those,
Texas?
yeah, here in Texas, in Houston, yeah.
Yeah.
Those were awesome times, man.
Yeah.
Gossiping about each other, seeing the weird cousins, like eating bad food, like all of it. It was great, man.
Big family?
No, very small family, actually. I mean, my dad has two brothers and a sister. So, and then everyone had one or two kids. So it was a small crew. It wasn't like a million people, but
Yeah.
Even if you have 10 people show up or 100 people show up, everybody pairs up and gets in the corner and talks about everybody else. And I love that.
Good way to catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
Was that tree in your house real or fake?
Geez, we ended up with the fake one growing up because my mom was allergic to everything under the sun. But in my house now, there's it has to be a real tree. I want that smell. I want the whole thing.
And now, are you going and buying that? Or are you going out and hunting it down and cutting it and dragging it back to your house? Or?
No, we buy one. We're just run to Home Depot. We're not anything sophisticated or anything.
There you go. When the first year Emily and I were married, we got a real tree, and then we put peppermint sticks on it, and then we got ants all in our apartment, and so we've gone. I thought they were cellophane wrapped, but I don't know if we unwrapped the peppermint, the candy canes or whatever. But so we've gone fake. We've gone fake tree for a while. And so, was your dad a pastor when you were a kid? Did you guys do Christmas stuff like Christmas? I don't know, live nativity, Christmas cantatas.
No, I grew up an old Church of Christ kid, so Christmas was we didn't talk about it very much. I remember maybe it was Mother's Day or Christmas or some Easter Sunday. There was a budget Sunday that Sunday. Okay, and I remember being a kid being like, "What are we doing, man? There's guests here," but no, there was kind of
Gotcha.
We don't talk about the commercialization of. We just got to get back into the text, and so we didn't. In fact, my wife had much more of that liturgical, celebrate stuff, and so that been part of the cool part of being married for 2 decades is learning. This season means something, not just this day where you get some presents.
So, what does it look like in the Delony household then? Your past and her past combined to make what for a current family Christmas?
Well, I mean, it's, I think the thing that we've learned most important for us is what are the 2 or 3 things that are non-negotiables, which is even if we have family over or if we're traveling, we all stop in just the 4 of us, me and my wife and my 2 kids. We open presents together. That's a thing we do. And everybody else has to leave or whatever. We have that. And then the thing that's become one of my greatest moments of pride of my marriage is in September and at the latest October, we ask ourselves, what do we want to feel like at the end of this Christmas cycle? And how do we reverse engineer that? Because I think it's easy to say we have to, this is our tradition, so we have to buy these presents, we have to go on this trip, we have to go see grandma. Yeah. And then you end up spending money you don't have, you use energy you don't have, and everybody hates each other, they're exhausted, they're fried, their credit cards run up. And so this particular year, and this sounds crazy to people who aren't me and my wife, I've been running hard on this season. She's finishing up a book. She's a writer. And what we're going to do right after the kids get out of school is my son and I are going to go to Texas, 17 hours away for a long hunting trip. And my wife and my daughter are going to curl up for 5 straight days and watch Hallmark movies. Yeah. And sit by the fire. And so it's not that we're avoiding each other. It's that we both intentionally said, I need some time in the woods. I need some time by the fire. And when we come back together the day after Christmas, it's going to be amazing, right? So and we're going to bump Christmas a day. And so it's the intentionality that we like to say, okay, how do we want to feel on December 30th? And how do we get there here? And I love that.
That's great. Yeah. And then you can catch up on all the Hallmark movies when you get back.
I can avoid all of them, right? And my wife doesn't have to sit in 20-degree weather in the middle of a field somewhere thinking she's doing something, right?
Well, that's awesome, man. You get time with your kids. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's great.
And then I know Ramsey that they're pretty big on Christmas. I remember just back in the day. This was probably a decade ago. He's reserving an entire Best Buy for everybody to go take shopping carts through or whatever. I think it was.
Dave is he's a real big believer, which I love. Which is, as a business owner, you share the profits, you take care of your people.
Yeah.
And that is everything from one of my coworkers. There's 1,000 people that work here. I sat with them for a year. They found out their 4-year-old daughter was not going to see her 5th birthday because of a terminal cancer diagnosis. And I sat with them for a year. It wasn't until the funeral that I found out that Dave had circled behind them and gone to the hospital and taken care of every bill they had. Right.
Oh,
and so
goodness.
and that will never be in the papers. That
Yeah.
will never, right. But Dave's real big on taking care of his people, and one of the things he loves to do is to celebrate. Like, teams fight and play hard, and they work hard, but man, you gotta play hard together too. And so, yeah, he's known for big, over the top Christmas events. And so, yeah, a couple years ago, like, charter buses rolled up, and everyone had to, like, it was like a fire drill, and everybody had to go outside, but then get on a bus, and he gave everybody an envelope of cash, and you had to spend it at the mall or at Best Buy or whatever. So it was awesome. And so this year he rented out like a part of Opryland, which is an awesome hotel here in Nashville, and it will be the party of the century, right?
Yeah.
But it's just a way to celebrate everybody. It's pretty cool.
Dude, that's great. That goes back to everything you're saying about thinking about the other person, looking to serve, looking out for other people's interests, and yours get taken care of along the way.
Right.
Man, that's great. So you've got your Christmas things, and then how long do you run how close to Christmas do you run your podcast? Like, when do you take a break? Is it
I shot my Christmas Eve. So my show comes out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I shot my Christmas Eve episode yesterday. So we're out pretty far, and that way everybody can, all the call screener and the producer and all the I don't know, those dudes that like do all the YouTube-y stuff, like those guys that actually make the thing happen. I'm just a dumb mouthpiece, but everybody get some time away, go spend your time with your family. And my show's pretty heavy sometimes, and so they can not have to deal with all the drama, which is good.
Yeah, that's good. So I figured there was a plan. I figured you're not winging them out every week. I mean, I
am not good at planning, and so they tell me where to be when and what we're doing in real time, and so I just show up and kind of do my thing, and it's a really great blessing.
Yeah. That's great, man. Yeah, I know over the last few years, you've really found. I think you and I met in 2023 through Instagram, and you've had a lot of new opportunities since then. The last even 2 years, it seems like.
Yeah, it kind of just took off. It's been pretty fun, man.
Yeah, that's great. Trying to think if there's any more Christmas to talk about. Tavin usually there's a parade in town. There's a live nativity he'll probably be a part of. There's something at the nursing home going on that he helps out with. He leads a pretty exciting life.
I am most interested in what is Tavin's like favorite holiday like food.
Oh, food. Well, there's definitely donuts, and then you could get crazy, and try like a peppermint fritter or frittler. But they tried that in his town a couple years ago. He hated it. It tasted like mouthwash. But yeah, I mean, there's anything Little Debbie on it that just has a Christmas tree on it. They don't taste like what they look like. Of course, they don't taste like peppermint all the time or a tree. They taste like they've got Christmas tree brownies. I don't know if you've seen those. You've seen probably the white cake Christmas trees, but I did a video recently for Tavin that'll come out closer to Christmas where it's the Christmas tree brownies. Those are, they look good and they taste good. So win-win.
That's fantastic, dude.
And a bunch of bacon, always eating bacon.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And then, a lot of the stuff that I talked about, I grew up eating, living in Arkansas, like biscuits and gravy for sure. But then there's chocolate gravy. You ever had that?
Oh, dude, that's a Southern thing, man.
Yeah. That's a breakfast thing. Yeah. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Chocolate gravy's good. Any kind of buffet, all of that stuff. So it's in any time of year. And so so that's Tavin. I'm always working on, I've got a podcast once a week, so I don't have to do 3 episodes a week like you do. And that's
what are you going to, what are you going to do? What are you guys doing for Christmas?
We are going to, I think we're going to be here in Southern California. I'm Thanksgiving's Arkansas, and my parents are there. They retired, back to Arkansas, and so I think we're going to be around here. And everything's in transition. I got a daughter who's a sophomore in college, so she's not home, but she'll be home. And then got a son who's looking to graduate. So our whole family, the next year it may look different. We may be going from 5 people that were in a house to 3, and so that'll be. But a lot of time together. My in-laws are in Southern California, so that's been good. We got stuff at church, and that's what we're doing. Just being here, plugging in, trying to help things go with church. And that's the one time of year, as you probably know, where there's a lot more interest in spiritual things and
Yeah, totally.
what is Christmas really about and all that. So we're excited to help families connect here in Southern California with that truth and all of that. So yeah, it should be good. Kind of slowing down, time with family, and if we do any traveling, it may not be it may be closer to the summer. After my son graduates, and it'll be 25 years next year of marriage. So we're probably going to try to do something for that. But
Dude, do something awesome. That's cool, dude.
that's a ways down the road, I think.
So are you doing more getting on the road, doing more live events?
Yeah, the tour is happening. So when the day this one should air, I'll be or Tavin will be in Chicago in mid-December. And then a few other ones. And then it's trying to decide, you just got to, it's all timing, right? Like I might not be, Tavin may not be ready for like a national tour. Like you got to gauge the interest and can you sell tickets? And, Nashville went well, but
awesome.
it was a learning experience. Thanks for helping. I know you mentioned that on Instagram a couple times. So that was a great.
That's easy.
Yeah. That was
John Christ is the one. Him and I were talking earlier last year, and he really challenged me. Like, I think you can. Like, I've got a lot of Instagram followers, and I think a lot of people have a lot of Instagram followers, and a lot of external validation in different places. But the real question that everybody who's out in the world, and it's probably similar to like my grandma thinks I'm good at playing guitar, or I can fix the plumbing around the house, or I can make great barbecue. I think I want to open a small barbecue place. Will people buy tickets? And that has been such a shapeshifter for me from how can I grow these digital platforms and blah, 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 to how can I get good enough that when somebody comes and sees me for 10 minutes, they're like, I can never miss that guy again. Who was like that for me? Derek Stroop, the comic Derek Stroop.
Uh-huh.
I saw him. I laughed so hard. I've never missed a single time he's come to Nashville, and I've tried to travel to go see him. And it's like, can you be that good? Or when you go see a movie, you're like, who's the director? I'll never miss that person's film again.
Yeah.
Or I had a yard guy that was so amazing. That guy is my yard guy forever. That problem is solved for me, right?
Yeah.
So can you get so good at your craft that people have to buy tickets? And I've loved filling up little tiny spaces, man. Little bitty. I'm playing Chicago on Sunday, and it's going to be 250, 300 people in that room. And I'm so excited about that to see if I can give them a really great night that they have to tell their friends about it.
Yeah. And the social media thing's interesting because I met a guy in Virginia at a show in May, and he was like, I didn't know if you were going to be Tavin at your show. And I was like, well, it's a Tavin show. He goes, well, I've been to a couple influencer shows, and kind of what they're known for on Instagram, they do the last 5 minutes of their show, and they're trying this other stuff out on stage, and it wasn't, so it's kind of like, whatever's being built on social media, does it translate to stage? And for you, I mean, you've got a couple things going on. I mean, of course, with your radio show, that's not what you're doing on stage at Zany's or any of these places, right? You're doing stand-up comedy.
Exactly, yeah. And there's actually, that's a good point. Like, I have to be, I say this, no one's told me this is the burden I put on myself, but I have to be extra funny because there's going to be 50 or 100 people in that room that want me to talk about mental health stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be an automatic disappointment. Like, oh, I thought this was going to be like the show, or I thought he was going to talk about marriage or whatever. Can I overcome that with super over the top fun? And we're like, that was different, but that was still awesome. Right. Yeah. So that's a fun challenge I put on myself.
Yeah. And when I first met Dusty through Instagram, I had a question for him about stand up. And his question was, you do stand up? And I realized there's nothing on Tavin's social media that says he does stand-up comedy. It's just these
That's right,
sketches and
yeah.
short things. And so it's like, so there is this unknown. If somebody comes to a live event, like, what can I expect? And that's part of the challenge too. And then you hope people go, and then they tell other people about it. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, where you've got a few different things going on, and then the social media aspect of it. And then, but at the end of the day, like you said, you have to be good at your craft,
You got to be good. That's right. That's
and
it. That's it.
So when people show up, they're rewarded for.
And I'm actually learning. I think for performers, the first one, you have to be pretty good in your first one. You got to be real good on your second one. And people will come back, but man, it's got to be different. It's got to be fun. It's got to be exciting. And to me, that's a nightmare. That's a challenge. The challenge of that is super fun, I think.
Yeah. It is a different monster altogether. Like trying to figure out how to craft something and engage, and like it depends on what your goal is. But for comedy, you're trying to make them laugh. I mean, you need laughs, and so that's a different timing, and it's not just laughing once. It's like again and again and again, and it's fun. It's a fun challenge.
Oh, it's amazing, man.
So what you're about to do a marriage seminar, what's the level of difficulty for you at this season of your life? A marriage seminar or a 300 people in Chicago stand-up comedy?
Oh man, I reached, one of the reasons I loved going to the club was I reached a point where I was going to talk to 2,000 or 3,000 people, and my pulse didn't change one iota, not one bit.
Yeah.
And that's not for someone who's on stage. It's not a good place to find yourself. You want to be comfortable, but you still want to have that fire, right? And so, man, I'll tell you what. The first time I did like Zany's all by myself as a headlining show, and it sold out. I tell you what, man, I was so nervous I couldn't breathe back there, and I remember loving that.
Yeah.
And it felt like, I don't know, I've never done drugs, but it felt like doing drugs for the first. It was so good. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm terrified. Yeah. And I have cosmically bombed on, like doing Nate Land's. They have a thing every Monday night. Mm-hmm. I have tanked, right? Yeah. And you're just up there frozen for 8 minutes. You're like, I don't know how to get out of here. Yeah. And it's the longest 8 minutes of your life. And so there's that. So that still makes me. I've never done a live of like comedy in Chicago. I don't know the people. I don't know the neighborhood. So, dude, I'm super nervous about that. Yeah. I'm nervous on the marriage thing. Is that I know people paid a lot of money. They travel all across the country, and I want to make sure they leave here with some tools. And so it's less about the performance and more about that I do a good job preparing to honor these people, which gave me the two great resources, their time and their money. They can go home and have a better, like more peace in their house. And so the angst is different. But no, nothing makes me more nervous than stand up, dude. That's a nightmare, man. Yeah. It's funny. In the best kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. It's all stewardship though. Like you're talking about, it's like, you got to go do the marriage seminar with excellence, and then you're going to hopefully reward those people. And then you go and get to do Chicago, and you feel sick right before it and you feel great after, hopefully, something like that.
Oh, you feel great 6 minutes in. You're like, oh, this is the greatest thing in the whole wide world, right? I love it, dude. I love it.
I don't know I don't know how many times before I've gone on to perform comedy where I've said, what am I doing with my life? Then I get on stage and it eases up. But right before, sometimes it's like, oh boy, what am I doing? But
dude. Oh, I almost have that almost every time. Like, I need to just be home. Why am I not home on the couch with my kids? This is so dumb. Am I this insecure? Like all that. And then you get about 10 minutes in, and you're like, and it's humming, and you're like, there's no greater gift to this room of strangers that I gave them an hour off their phone, and we all laughed about the human experience together, and it's super fun, man.
I tell you what is fun too, and you may have already experienced this, but if my kids can be involved, like they've either gone to a show or helped with different things, that's a hoot too. Because that was when they were young. I was like, I don't like being gone, and now that they're older, I'm like, I still don't like being gone away from these kiddos. But we'll see if any of them want to hang with me for professional stuff down the road. I don't know, and they don't have to. But
I would love that. Well, and my daughter's 9. My son doesn't think that way. Yeah. He likes to write novels, and he's raised. Both of his parents are nerds. But my daughter even said the other day, she's like, "Dad, I have a great idea for a bit," and I was like, hey, how do you know what a bit is? Number one, you're 9. And 2, let me hear it. And the joke was awful. It was terrible. But the thought that she's thinking like that was kind of awesome for me.
Yeah, dude, that's how it happens. And I've noticed that with students over the years where they realize they've got the great idea and then they try to execute and they're like, this is way harder. Either the idea wasn't as great as they thought, or just to get it actually out, finish a short film or whatever it is. It's like, this is a lot of work. And it goes back to that. The people that are really good make this stuff look easy, and I admire it.
Well, and so I have a bit about, I went on a long hunt hike, and depending on what town I'm in, it's either a hike or a hunt, right? Depending on what part of the country I'm in.
Right.
But I was 43, and I had this experience with this thing that I didn't know existed called hemorrhoids. And I thought hemorrhoids as a kid watching those commercials.
Yeah,
I thought it sounded like the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And then to get them, it was such a nightmare. And in a room full of strangers that everybody's got this.
Yeah.
Everyone's experienced and nobody will talk about it.
Yeah.
It becomes like a really unifying bonding moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we've all got that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, we're not supposed to talk about this.
Yeah.
And you can talk about it in an X-rated way, or you could talk about it in a funny, honoring. Oh yeah, it's like the definition of friendship that C.S. Lewis put out. Like, the definition of friend is, oh, you too, I thought I was the only one. And so if you can connect that with comedy, God's the best, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Then we're all on the same page. It's like, we're friends. We can relate. That's a good one. Yeah. Tavin's pretty good at that. Tavin's getting pretty good at trying to connect stories with people, but it is just such a work of art. I mean, it's such an art to try to figure out how to connect those dots and tell those stories in a way that really.
Oh yeah. Here's what I was going to tell you. So I've told that story to 100 different audiences, maybe more. And there's one part of it, and we don't have to talk nerdy, like for poor people who are listening to this that have nothing to do with comedy, but you have the payoff, right? You've got the punchline, but I'm learning that a good comic will have like miniature punchlines along the way, right? So you're laughing and it builds and you get this great payoff. And I could not come up with it. And just the other night with Dusty Slade, a couple others here in town, I asked some guy, I didn't know him. He's from Los Angeles. He was just swinging through town and he was there to do a set. And I was like, hey, do you have an idea? And he 1 second was like, oh, I got it. And he told it to me. I'm telling you, listen, Joel, that was the hardest laugh of the night. I walked right out on stage and did it. And it's that kind of collaborative, everybody working together. Dude, it's just so, but that's a story I told 100 times in 100 little bit different ways. And it wasn't right yet until now. I think it's dialed right now. I think I got it.
And that part of that, I know you're speaking to a couple of things. One, it's teachability, like you're willing to ask for help and listen to somebody else's advice and like take it and make your stuff better. And then the other one is like, oh yeah, I don't just quit on the joke. I may have to do it 100 times, and 101 I finally got it dialed in. There may be jokes to quit on. There's discernment there, of course, but it's work.
But also thinking about the church leader who's listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
You know who gave me permission to do that? Nate Bargatze, who he would know me, like he wouldn't, like we've never hung out, we've never had dinner.
Yeah.
But like the fact that guy came off and said, hey, is this good? Gave me permission to go, oh, that's the greats do this. So if you're a church leader and you're teaching a Sunday school class, to be able to go, I wrestle with this one. Like this, I've never been able to make sense of this particular story about Jesus or this particular parable or particular passage. What do y'all think? What that does is not like people think people are desperate for leaders and for parents who never have a question, have all the answers. Yeah. And I think that type of modeling of parents or leadership or whatever has got us in this current mess we're in. Yeah. And instead of saying, hey, do you know, like you stranger who I don't know who you are, do you have a way you think can make this better? Or if I'm teaching a Sunday school class, like, what do you all think? And having somebody bring up I'm like, that's a genius way to interpret that. Yeah. And so I'm finding the higher I go, like not the higher I go, but the more people that I meet who have that could sell lots of tickets and do really well in their business, they're the ones that ask the most questions and want to get it the most right, not always be the most right. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And you think about it, like in small groups or church, and it could be in other places too, but where the person that's leading, if they're like, man, I'm struggling with this, or they talk about a failure, people are like, they kind of exhale like, oh my goodness, this person's human too, and I can connect and relate. You know, there's this.
It's such a blessing. Yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift to say, man, I don't fully got this. What do you think? And by the way, if your identity is wrapped around having the quote unquote right answer, AI is going to take your soul from you. It'll take your identity from you because it's smarter than you. Right?
Yeah.
If your identity is in being with people and being a part of the discovery process, and maybe you've discovered more along the way, and that's awesome. So you're you're in the front of the line.
Yeah.
But like, if that's your identity, dude, you're going to have a great, uncomfortable, messy, frustrating, and rich, powerful, wonderful life. It's just a cool way to do life.
Yeah, and it's dealing with reality too. Like,
That's it.
no, we all know nobody's perfect, but sometimes we start thinking, well, maybe they are, you know, or whatever. And
yeah, that's right.
One
or
of the
I have to be right. I have to be perfect in this moment. No, you don't. You're fine.
Especially as a parent, you're like, Lord, I can't run these kids. And but one of the things, even this last week, I got upset with my wife. We were driving to a nephew's soccer game, and our 14-year-old's in the back seat, and I had to. I was like, I was wrong for the way I spoke to you. Will you forgive me? So I cleared up with my wife right there. But then my son was present. So I was like, hey, bud, the way I talked to mom was wrong. Will you forgive me for that? Yeah, Dad. But it's super risky and vulnerable. And it's like, oh, dude, why am I? But it's the right thing to do. Like exposing, like, yeah, I blow it. And this is the way forward. And but that teachability and being willing to ask for advice, like you said, is key. Like,
oh, it's the best, man. It's so freeing, dude, to just go, I don't know, what do you think? That's the best, man.
I've taught production classes where students are going to direct, and I was like, hey, one of the best things a director can do on set is you don't have to have all the answers. You need to have thought through everything. Like, I'd like them in this wardrobe. But you use your team. If they bring up something you don't have an answer to, don't act like you do. Just say, that's a good question. What do you think? And then, you're being teachable, and you could get some good collaboration, like you did on that joke. And it's just an easier way. It's an honest way to move through life, actually. That's right. You're not acting like...
to me, a great director has always been, when I've been on sets, a great director is not Google Maps, but Waze. Which is like, I've thought through how to get from here to here, and I've got a really dialed in picture. And if you're on a feature set, right, it's all storyboarded, and we've got it. Mm-hmm. And also being open to somebody who goes, hey, I know another road that we can take to get there, and it'll get us there faster. And to be open to tell me that road. Now, if you're Wes Anderson, that's your thing, right? Like that you are David Fincher, like that's not what you do. But like for most mortals, like being able to be open to, a path through the woods, that can actually be more awesome than this one. Show me that path. Yeah. And it might not be right, but being open to like, hey, there's another way to get to the same location you're trying to get to. Man, I love that director who's thought through it all. Yeah. So he's just thought through it so well that now they can come in with open hands and say, I think this is right. Let's let the magic happen now. And we might end up getting to that same place, but we took a different route.
Yeah. Collaborating. It's
the best.
Yeah, and that's everything we're talking about. Even all the stuff that I've done over the years with Tavin, a lot of the big things come from fans giving me feedback and me listening. Like I've tried to do merch, and I'm like, this is a great idea for a shirt. Nobody wants it. Oh, nobody told me they wanted it. I should have listened to what people said they wanted.
Oh yeah, dude. The like my buddy's one of my oldest, greatest friends in the world is a banker, and he's like, the big problem with small business folks, and I think it's for entertainers too, is somebody comes in and says, I want to put a coffee shop right here on this corner. Will you loan me $500,000? And he's like, my first question is always, do people near that corner want to drink coffee? Mm-hmm. And we get so tunnel visioned with, I want to tell this joke about my hemorrhoids. After 5 times, I need to know, they don't want to hear that, right? And so I can get bitter and I can hate the world and be like, the world doesn't see my vision. Or I can try to make the joke better. Or I can listen and say, I'm trying to give the world something they're not asking for, which means I'm not going back to that core principle of how can I help people? I'm going back to how can I gratify myself? Yeah. And I always think about like a business like Blockbuster. The moment they put into their annual revenue earnings as a line item, late fees.
Mhm.
The moment they built into their business, we win when our customer loses. That's the moment your customer starts trying to work around you.
Yeah.
I worked in universities for 20 plus years. That was my whole career, was being a university leader.
Uh-huh.
The moment people had to start mortgaging their souls, it was the whole world's gonna work to find a way around y'all because of how much pain we go through. And so if the university's winning, the more they get you to borrow as a student, the more they win.
Yeah.
Eventually people go around it, right? And so it's figuring out, like, do I, as and you've seen them, the self-indulgent comedian, or I do plumbing like this. Well, dude, your customer's asking for this.
Yeah.
Is there a way to blend those two things, right?
Yeah.
And I just think that humility is like, how can I help you? And sometimes helping you is saying, I know you want it like that, but you're going to wish you didn't do it like that, which, thank God I got a manager that I'm like, I'm going to do this. And he's like, I promise you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are the people that you're trying to help? What are they asking for? Not what are you trying to shove at them, right? And churches, I think, is one of the worst at that. Like, I think right now, the model of like church as country club, I don't think that's what people are asking for. I think people are desperate for a hospital. Like, can I walk in and finally have any place on my life where I can drop my shoulders and stop performing and say I'm not okay?
Yeah.
And when you come in and the pastor looks amazing and the song leader's got bleached white teeth and there's smoke machines, like, it's like, oh, I've got to be a part of the show, instead of, can I walk in and just say, God, I'm not okay? And someone go, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. The transparent, the being real, it goes a long way. We want it in other people, but then sometimes I can be like, oh, I am trying to present something that's not, just because we want to make sure we're okay. But it's the quicker we can get to that, the here I am,
Exactly.
help me thing is the better. Yeah. That's a good word. That is a good word. And speaking of collaboration, this was a Christmas episode. We kind of talked about Christmas, but it went better ways, I think. So,
hey, enjoy Christmas, man. Christmas is awesome.
I
It's
love
cool.
Christmas.
It's like a moment for getting to think about what matters and getting to remember people. And gift giving is receiving gifts is one of my love languages. Like, it makes me feel seen, and when somebody's like, hey, I heard you talk about this album last year in June, and I found it it's the best. So it's a cool way to honor people, and like, I don't know, it's a beautiful season if we can get away with the stress of it all.
Yeah, people are a little more apt to give, for sure. And then also, for a lot of people, things do slow down, which I think is a good time to reflect. And sometimes when the noise dies down, you have to deal with some things, and that's not a bad thing, though. Just remembering.
It's also you nailed it. It's a really lonely season for people, and so can this be the year that you decide we're gonna have a Friendsgiving? I'm gonna have a group of randos. We have, at my house, every Easter we have what we call Rando Easter. And dude, it is a cast of characters at my house. Musicians, tattoo artists, bankers, people I've never even seen them, and I'm like, who is that? My wife's like, I don't know, I thought you invited them. Yeah. And it's literally the best. I don't know who these people are. And it's so great because everyone just exhales, and everyone's kids want to get Easter eggs, right? So it's kind of saying, our friends and family don't live in Nashville. I mean, our family doesn't live in Nashville. I got a job to do. That is to create an experience. So it's awesome. I love it.
That's cool, man. Well, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, you and your family. Be safe out there.
You too, brother. Merry Christmas to you.
Enjoy it. And thanks for taking the time, too. Appreciate it.
Oh, heck yeah. And thanks for putting positive, fun, good stuff out into the world. It's like, man, there's just days I'm just having a rough day, and I don't use drugs, but I scroll Instagram sometimes as my Xanax, and running across a Tavin clip, I can just exhale and be like, man, that's good. That's funny. Right. And that's so good for the soul. So thank you for putting out joy into the world. Yeah, man. And hopefully 2026, we'll see each other in person. Hopefully our paths will cross. Be awesome, dude. I'd love it. All right, man. Well, thanks for taking the time again, John. And do well at the marriage seminar tonight. I'm gonna try not to screw them up too much. Get it dialed in. I'm sure you'll be fine. All right, man. All right. Blessings, brother. Appreciate you. All right, you too. See ya. All right, bye. Bye.
Well, y'all guys, I hope y'all had a hoot of a time. I can't wait to tell you whatever's about to go down and how this trip is about to go with Meemaw, but I just do not know yet. But like I said, I got to go help her pack. And be sure to check them show notes for all that's going on. Vanessa Spurgeon, Century 21 MVP, located in the heart of the Smokies. She's there to help you out. Boy, there's some investing you can do. Hey, looking ahead at 2026, people are going to be coming to the Smoky Mountains. You can host them in your own rental. I mean, that's just a thought, y'all guys. Think about it. Bink, bink. And hey, if you didn't get wrangled into a trip for your Meemaw and have to pack not only food and not only a couple pillows, but about 7 or 8 baby dolls this week, you having a pretty good week. I hope to tell you all about it next week. Until then, y'all guys, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is a Tavin Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.